Emma, something I wanted to ask you about that's difficult and challenging because it's something you spoke about earlier as to being such a big part of your life, an important part of your life. But recently, there's been so many conversations and comments directly from JK Rowling, whether it's her saying she'd never forgive you for your views, or the fact that when she was asked what ruins the movies for her, she named yourself and some of your co-stars. And I imagine that's an extremely difficult thing when you've been a part of someone's world, when you've felt connected to their work, and then for it now to kind of be a full 180, and for someone to publicly say these things that can be quite or extremely hurtful, actually. How do you think about that?
I really don't believe that by having had that experience and holding the love and support and views that I have mean that I can't and don't treasure Joe and the person that I had personal experiences with. I will never believe that one negates the other, and that my experience of that person I don't get to keep and cherish. To come back to our earlier thing, I just don't think these things are either or. I think it's my deepest wish that I hope people who don't agree with my opinion will love me, and I hope I can keep loving people who I don't necessarily share the same opinion with. And I think that's a very, very important way for me that I need to be able to move through life. I just really, to circle back around, I really do believe in having conversations, and that those are really important, and that, I don't know, I guess where I've landed is it's not so much what we say or what we believe, but very often how we say it that's really important, and that's really frustrating and not what you want to hear when you're really angry and upset with someone. But I don't know, I just see this world right now where we seem to be giving permission for this kind of like throwing out of people, or that people are disposable. And I just think I will always think that's wrong. I just believe that no one's disposable. And everyone, as far as possible, whatever the conversation is, should and can be treated with, at the very least, dignity and respect.
Thank you for challenging us and pushing us. Yeah, it takes a lot to, I think that's what we're all being challenged to do, is try and hold two truths at once. And
yes,
those two truths don't have to be complementary, but they can stand at the same time. Yeah.
I think the thing I'm most upset about is that a conversation was never made possible.
So you remain open for that dialogue.
Yeah, and I always will. I believe in that. I believe in that completely. I believe in that completely. I just don't want to say anything that like continues to weaponize a really like toxic debate and conversation, which is maybe why it is why I don't comment or like continue to comment. Not because I don't care about her or about the issue, but because the way that the conversation is being had feels really painful to me. And so that's why that decision.
Yeah. I really appreciate that mindset, and deeply, deeply feel like if people are challenged to go there themselves, like it takes a lot to think that way and feel that way.
Yes.
But it's what healing really requires across, around the world. And I can't imagine how many young people who look up to you and people who look up to you will feel the same way, to recognize that that's how we engage. That's what we look for. It's not that we're trying to make everything pretty and perfect.
No.
It's that we're willing to engage in an uncomfortable conversation.
Yes. Her kindness and words of encouragement and that steadfastness and also, honestly, just as a young woman, for her to have written that character, created that world, given me an opportunity, which, to be honest, barely exists in the history of English literature. There's just no world in which I could ever cancel her out or cancel that out for anything. It has to remain true. It is true. And this is where this holding of these, I just don't know what else to do other than hold these two seemingly incompatible things together at the same time and just hope maybe they will one day resolve or co-join themselves, and maybe accept that they never will, but that they can both still be true. And I can love her. I can know she loved me. I can be grateful to her. I can know the things that she said are true. And there can be this whole other thing. And my job feels like to just hold all of it. But the bigger thing is just what she's done will never be taken away from me.
Thanks for setting such a powerful example.
Thank you.
That beautiful F. Scott Fitzgerald quote that the sign of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas at the same time and still retain the ability to function. And he goes on to say, one should therefore be able to see that the world is hopeless, but still be determined to make it otherwise. And it's like, that's
F. Scott Fitzgerald said that.
Yeah,
wow, he ran deeper than I knew.
Yeah, it's F. Scott.
Wow, that's
no
incredible.
one ever quotes that second part.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Wow, well done you for remembering that second part. Wow, you've made me like Fitzgerald a lot. I mean, I liked him, don't get me wrong.
To me, it's one of my favorite ideas.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's so good.
Yeah. Emma, for someone who has tried to stay out of the public eye.
Yeah.
You've still been vocal about causes you believe in, things that you stand for.
Yes.
And that always seems to get attention and reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you shared online your solidarity for Palestine, the former Israeli UN ambassador, Danny Danon, called you an anti-Semite, and his tweet said, 10 points from Gryffindor for being an anti-Semite. Mm-hmm. What goes through your mind when you see that?
This happened a few years ago now.
Yeah.
I think what concerned me at the time was the way that label was being used. And I think even now I see that playing out where people don't feel like they can talk about what's happening safely. This duality created where we don't seem able to care about the victims of terrorism and care about the genocide that's happening in Palestine at the same time. And both things have to be allowed to be true. You have to be allowed to care about 50,000 civilians dying, 17,000 of which are children, and care deeply about the victims of this awful terrorist attack.
So I appreciate you sharing that. And yeah, it seems like that belief system you have in yes and this and together, it kind of runs through so many areas of your life.
Yeah.
Personal and beyond.
Yes. I think that's true. I think that's true.
I hope that you've been able to share the parts of yourself and the version of yourself that you wanted to and intended to.
I hope so. I feel very hot and I feel very hot and I feel a little bit like is this room even real? Like, is this like a Godard play where we're like in some sort of existential room that doesn't exist
In a second,
anymore?
all the walls are going to drop.
Honestly, I feel a little bit like that. But as long as this was real and these 4 walls are actually here, then yes, I do feel that way. And, I've done everything I can in a context that's I can still see cameras and lights, and I know there's a person behind me, but I feel to the extent to which I can humanly do that, I've shown up for myself and for you in a way, and the invitation that this podcast is and the work that you do in the world. I've answered that invitation. So I feel good about that.